G'day everyone, welcome to another video podcast. Today we're just going to do a review on a recently completed project. It's been, probably over 2 years in the making, and it's coming to an end, and it's operational, and that's all very exciting. And as you can see from the screen in front, it's a large space. So just to recap on a few beliefs, at DIB Audio Visual, we believe that the simpler you can make solutions, the better the utilization is going to be on behalf of our users. And we believe that complexity is the result of poor design or understanding of the user's needs. So, these are a couple of key principles we work very hard on. This project we're going to have a bit of a review on today. It's a large Melbourne Catholic school, and it's a recently completed gymnasium or sports centre. It's a multi-purpose venue, as you can probably see here in the pictures, and it's quite a large space. It's a double basketball stadium, and it has the ability to function as a bit of a low-scale drama/performance centre. It can also function as a giant lecture theatre with, I think, circa 900 seat capacity. It obviously caters to all sorts of sporting events and assembly needs. So this space came to our attention probably a couple of years ago. I think we were invited to assist with the solution during the design phase, as a part of the consulting team, working alongside a couple of leading Melbourne consulting firms, architect and electrical consultant. And we met with their client. The client was initially looking at a projector-based solution for the room, and I think they were thinking multiple screens. And over the course of roughly a year, I suppose, of design back and forth with the client, this was pre the construction phase, we settled on the solution that they have here before you in this picture. So to summarise back on some of the overarching principles of the requirement: one, it was a multi-purpose space. It was to be very flexible. Two, in line with our own beliefs, it was to be very simple to use, such that they didn't need to always have technical crew on hand. So there was a range of requirements, as I touched on in the beginning. And even the seating that you can see in this picture here, which is a 900 seat retractable seating system, Motorised, is able to sit on the rear of the two basketball courts, or as it's positioned in this current picture here, sit on the forward half of the two basketball courts. So there was a range of different positions we needed to cater to, and the sound system needed to work effectively for any one of those scenarios, and the video system needed to suit them as well. So there was very particular attention paid to the layout of the system and the layout of the control system and so forth. To get a good video result, we settled on a 200-inch LED pixel video screen that you can see here in the center of the photo. It was chosen for its suitability for the space because it is a basketball court, and so on and so forth. I'm just glancing back. I think it was about a 3.9mm pixel screen. And the final design we settled on was a motorised winch system, so that we could move the position of the screen to suit varying requirements, from a higher up location, such as up here, to lower positions, such as you see here, and even lower for service access as may be required. We worked with the architect and the electrical consultant to find suitable locations for equipment, and this photo is taken during commissioning, so there is a little bit of a mess still around, but the equipment rack is located over here, and then there are various user input plates, including floor boxes, front of stage. We have mirror ports for the main screen, so that if the client wants to bring in some smaller 75-inch panels at locations around the building to provide fill, that these things are all possible. The audio system comprises a community speaker sound system which was designed and engineered for the space, and full impact resistance speakers. You can actually see them on custom mount brackets suspended from the ceiling here. And if I jump across to some other pictures, we'll give you some close-ups here. Let's have a little bit of a look at the equipment rack. So again, this is during commissioning here, so there's a few elements not quite in place when this photo was taken. But essentially, the system is comprised to work in two primary modes. One is what we would call simple mode, and the other one we would call advanced mode. And effectively, simple mode is where the user just walks in and uses this touch screen only to activate the system and you know, get it running the way they need it. So, and the way that's set up is it's programmed and designed around the use cases. So whether that's half court, full court, video, no video, they're the primary mode selections in the beginning. And then the system is powered up, the screen is turned on, amplifiers, the levels are all preset so that there's nothing there for users to play with. And you know, the simplified use case only makes use of the audio from the vision inputs, so that'd be HDMI, or the couple of wireless microphones which are linked to an active antenna system here. I think a couple of Sennheiser G4s, and a range of, I think there's a couple of other inputs around the room for physical microphone plug-in. But basically, simple mode doesn't use a lot of audio sources, and they're all easily controlled via the touch screen here, and the levels are all preset, as I said. And you know, there is no mixing desk or anything for people to make a mess of or get confused with, and this is all very deliberate for the simple mode type of operation. In this case here, the client was happy to use a Behringer X32, I think as it was, and this is really facilitating our advanced mode. So if when they activate the system they choose advanced mode, now the audio processing is being done via the Behringer X32, and we're using matrix DSPs in this case. I think they're the Extron DMP series product, to basically route the audio signals between these two ecosystems as needed. And the Behringer X32 is it gets past feeds from things such as the wireless microphones and the vision audio related sources and all that sort of stuff, and then it can be patched to via various wall panels around the building, which come back to these labeled panels here. For more elaborate advanced setups. But again, you know, that is to be used by the school's audiovisual specialists and not by day-to-day requirements. So even if the school has a requirement to do an address to 100 parents or 200 parents, you know, then that can be facilitated easily without advanced setups and needing specialist staff on hand and all these sorts of things. And these are the objectives for the design, you know, right down to you know, the microphones which will live in this cupboard here on a little shelf, sitting on charge docks, ready to go. And you know, well, perhaps not obviously, but you know, the control system you know, can be mirrored you know, to an iPad, and so you know, they're not restricted to operating from just here in the cupboard. So probably not necessary to flip through some of these, but these are just giving you a bit more of a look at the rack, winch controllers, video wall processors, so on and so forth. Excuse me. And here is just a still shot, again during commissioning. You can see the LED screen in the lowered position in this particular shot, and you can see some of our community speakers located through the roof area there. The sound system was all ease modeled during the design phase, and is very deliberately configured into rows to cater for the different layouts and modes of the system. Excuse me here, I'm just looking for some other information. So yeah, configured deliberately into rows. Probably a little bit more visible in one of these rear photos. This is the back side of the seating, which is in the forward position. So this is the rear court, and you can see the rows here in the ceiling again. on these custom engineered brackets, keeping the sound system up around the same level as the other infrastructure in the room, just from an aesthetics and impact point of view. Although, as I said, these are all impact rated. And you know, so there's sort of row 1, 2, 3, 4, and the system is equalized and adjusted, and that's all pre-configured or configured during the commissioning phase, you know, against those rows, and it relates back to the control system. So, you know, when the users first select, you know, the positioning or the mode they're operating in, audio mode, non-audio mode, where the seating is, the sound is configured accordingly. What else have we got here? So, yeah, example, there's multiple panels around the building, but these are examples of some of the panels that relate back to the custom patch panels here in the rack, and a close-up of our screen and winch system as it's engineered, with a loom behind it. So that's in the lowered position there. These doors open to reveal like a room behind, which can be used in certain scenarios. And probably got a couple of videos here that we can play. Again, these are videos just recorded with an iPhone during the commissioning phase, but it gives you a sense of how the system performs and looks. Let's just spin up one of these. Let's get this into a bigger view. Sorry about this, just wrestling with the resolution settings here. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Maybe I can get it to just play this way. Sorry, I had a bit of a problem there with the video, and trying to get this to play in a higher resolution. It is now. Go back. Let's see our big video. Okay, so that was one of the videos. Sorry about that little interruption midway. This is just a video recorded walking around the rear half of the court. Now that zone would normally be deactivated with the forward seating there. So this was again just testing purposes. You'll get a sense of the audio in the rear part of the court. So there you have it. Sorry about the video moving around quite a lot in those shots. But that gives you a sense of the layout and the configuration of the space, how it works, and certainly, you know, we can provide you with a lot more detail. You know, the important thing about these projects is to start that detailed consultation nice and early, so that you know, there's lots of things about these sorts of projects that if we're involved too late, we just can't help influence the design and the outcomes enough. And I think it comes at the expense of simplicity of operation of the system in the end. So if you've got a project you'd like some help with, something similar to this in a school environment, or indeed a similar commercial environment, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can call D.I.B. AB in Melbourne, And you can contact us via email, info@dibaustralia.com.au. Thanks very much.